What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Wanted to hit y'all with a random live stream because there's so much going on, man. And with everything that we see happening, it really makes me understand the things that are going wrong in life, in society, and in the world. A lot of that is based on, and let me say this real quick. I appreciate y'all. Come on in. Hit the like button as you do so. Hit the like button as you enter into the room. This was just a random live that I'm doing, so I give y'all a little time before I start running my mouth. Hit that like button as y'all step into the house, man. I see Oak Cliff up in this thing. We gotta go into this topic because, in my opinion, it's been the downfall. It's been the demise of a lot of people, and it continues to be that. And that's trusting too easily. The danger of trusting people too easy, trusting people, trusting their words, trusting um, information, false information, trusting information because we blindly trust the source of that information, only to find out later that that information is not accurate. And if it's not accurate, that means it's not beneficial to us. So we're talking about the danger of trusting too easily. And again, in my opinion, that is one of the key reasons why a lot of our problems come about throughout the world, throughout our personal life. Because somewhere down the line, there was someone that we trusted that was not worthy of our trust, and they put us in a bad situation. I was looking at where the comedian brother named I think his last name was Fuquan. He's a comedian, and he just passed away last night or the night before last, if I'm not mistaken, from a drug overdose. He overdosed on fentanyl along with two other people. And when I saw that, how it happened, just on the outskirts, looking at it, just the fact that they were at a party and two other people died along with him, and there was another person that might have took the same thing they took. That automatically lets me know that it was an accidental overdose, where it leads me to believe that it was an accidental overdose. So by it being an accidental overdose, it also leads me to believe that whatever they may have partaken in, whatever drug they may have partaken in, it was a trust factor initially from somewhere, someone that made them feel comfortable to take that drug, and not necessarily knowing everything that was in that drug. Because again, you may have the intentions of doing one drug, but if you don't know the source of it, then something else may have been added to it that you didn't see coming or you didn't sign up for. So, like a lot of my homies that smoke weed, I would have conversations with them back in the days because we would go places and we would just go different places, man. And anywhere we pull up, if somebody was smoking weed, it could be a total stranger, and they pass the weed to them, they'll just start smoking. And some of my homies, I would tell them, I was like, man, you ain't know these dudes. You can't smoke with everybody. You can't just smoke with anybody who pass you some weed, because you don't know how they get down. You don't know what extra they might do to their weed. You might be smoking what we call back in the days a primo. You know, that's marijuana laced with cocaine. And all you are is a regular weed smoker. But the over trusting of just anybody simply because they have something that you think you want leads to a lot of bad situations. So that's what I think happened to the people that party, the comedian and the people that were at that party. Is like, you come to these environments and, you know, you see people, you know, and, you know, you're a frequent goer to these events, and somebody say, hey man, somebody got this, hey, we got some such and such for, hey man, we got a drink for you, and then you end up letting your guard down, and it's something a little more powerful in there. Same situation like when you had these dudes out here that will buy a lady a drink, and then they'll put something in the drink in order to make the lady pass out, or order, you know, we used to call that back in the day slipping somebody a Mickey. Oh man, what happened? Oh, they slipped her a Mickey. And then they take advantage of her because she took that drink, because she wanted the drink, but she mistakenly trusted the wrong source where that drink came from. You can't accept anything from anybody. You can't do that. Sometimes you have to know to just decline, just to say, no, I'm good, even if that's what you want, even if that's what you came there to get. And I'm not condoning no smoking and drinking and all that. I'm not condoning that at all. I'm saying that if that's your thing, then your sources have to be very, very guarded. It can't just be anywhere you go. Hey man, they're gonna have some such and such there. Oh yeah? Okay, we going. Who party is it? I don't know. You can't do that. And it ain't about just drugs. It ain't about just drinking and smoking and snorting and whatever. It could be about food. I talked about this a while back, how you can't eat everybody's food. See? If you are a person, like I use myself as an example, there are certain things that I don't eat. I'm not going to eat no pork. I don't even eat beef and chicken and turkey no more. Just a little fish. But here's the deal. When it comes to pork and pork products, it's not always just in the form of a pork chop sandwich, some bacon, some ham. It's not always in that form. Pork is put in a lot of different foods, subliminally, on the cool, under different names, in different forms. So you may think you're eating something that doesn't have pork in it, and it actually does, because the ingredients, oh, this says lard. What are you talking about? Lard, that's pork. It's pork in that. There's so many different disguised names for pork. So in that regard, if you go somewhere and you choose to eat, whether it be somebody's house, especially if it's somebody's house, but even if it's a restaurant, you have to ask questions. Hey man, what's So how do y'all prepare y'all such and such? What do y'all put in? Oh, I want to get the beans, but do y'all put pork meat, bacon fat in the beans? And oh yes, sir. Okay, well now I don't want the beans. You gotta figure these things out. But we're so trusting that we go to people's house, man, and we'll eat anything and drink anything, and I'm not necessarily talking about family because or even close friends, because sometimes people may unwittingly give you something that you don't partake in. They don't mean no harm. But there are other people who intentionally set out to feed you poison. They think it's cool. Like when you see somebody give a dog some beer, or they blow weed smoke in the dog. They get the dog high because they it's gonna be funny to them. Let's see what happens, man. Let's get the dog high. We're gonna see how he act when he get high. People do the same thing with people. See, people who are squares, four corners. They say, hey man, I don't do anything. I don't do anything. Okay, well, yeah, well, all right, man. Here's a Sprite, man. Here's a soda or something like that. They put something in the soda because they want to see what it's gonna do to you. No regard for the principles that you stand on. So you have to take the control over yourself to say, well, nah, I'm not eating this anywhere. Hey man, you want to play? No, thank you. I'm good. I appreciate you. In your mind, you say, outwardly, you're like, no, thank you. I'm good. In your mind, you're either thinking two things. You're either thinking, I don't know you like that. Nah, I'm good. Or, they may not understand, my way of doing things. They may not understand it. So I'm not going to participate today. See? We trust people too quick. See, what you got to understand about trust is a thing that should be built up over time. Trust is like credit. You know what I'm saying? You got to establish it. You got to build it up. You got to get to a point where the person who you are considering giving your trust to, they prove themselves worthy of that trust. They reach a point where it's like, you know what? They've shown me that I can actually trust them. And you still got to keep your guard up. But you do reach a point with certain people where this person would never do anything intentionally to hurt me. It's certain people that we know, that we can point to in our life. Only a handful. We can say, well, I know. And even if it's somebody that you're not close to, you can know somebody's character to say, okay, you know what, I know that this person they would never put me in that kind of position intentionally. People make mistakes, but for the most part, you're good. But what leads us down that road is whatever it is that we are looking at that we want. Y'all hit the like button for your big brother, man, if you haven't already. Whatever it is that we want, it makes us remove our shield from around ourselves, our force field, because now all you're focused on is whatever it is that you're trying to get. Somebody comes to you and say, well, man, I'm a financial advisor. I can, if you give me $5,000, I can show you how to flip that. I can help you flip that $5,000, and in 6 months, it can be $25,000 or $50,000. The sound of you flipping that money, the thought of you flipping that money, the thought of you flipping 5 into 50. All you see is the road, the end of the road, the 50, the prize. And if the person got enough conversation, the person got the right kind of game that he presents to you, the next thing you know, you peeling off 5 grand, not fully understanding even what the person is telling you and not having done the proper research on that person, on that situation, to see if that's worthy of you taking that risk. One of my favorite TV shows is a show called American Greed. And American Greed shows where all these different people just scamming left and right. They scamming rich people, poor people, everybody in between, all because they had the conversation to be able to trick and deceive people out of their money. And these people trusted what these people said, and some people got beat for millions, hundreds of thousands, millions. And the person who was doing the scamming, by the time they catch them, they done hit for millions and millions of dollars. All because our desire for what it is they presented to us that we could get down the line, we trusted them too fast. Trusted them too fast. But that's on a big scale. Happens on a little scale. Somebody tell you, man, hey, man, give me $100, I'll bring you back 500. We trust it. And then we ready to kill somebody over $100 when they scam you out of $100, out of $20. We ready to kill you, ready to throw your whole life away because you made the mistake of trusting somebody too fast. One of the best things you can do is ask questions and inquire about certain companies, businesses, certain people who are trying to do this and do that. If you have, that's why people do, that's why people read reviews. They read reviews on movies, they read reviews on restaurants, they read reviews on hotels, because they want to try to get a consensus. They want to try to weigh the ratio of the people who said this is a good thing to do versus the people who said it's not a good thing to do. So if you go to check out a review and it's 90% negative reviews about something, that's gonna sway your decision. Because wait a minute, all these people ain't wrong. All these people ain't just in disagreement with the 2% that's saying that they liked it. So you have to do your research. You got to as thorough as you can. As thorough as you can, you have to vet and investigate whatever it is you're trying to do. And it will save you. It doesn't guarantee you success, but for the most part, it will secure you, and it'll save you a lot of stress and struggle down the line. See? We do the same thing with the government. We do the same thing with the government. We do the same thing with the media. Practically anything that they tell us, for the most part, we run with it. Now, there are many of us who, at this stage in time, we like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. We gotta. Some of us now have been properly trained to know that usually if they say it's to the left, we need to go to the right. A lot of us are on that now. But there's still far too many people that anything that comes out of the mouth of the media, of the government, these politicians, we take it and run with it. Well, the president said it, it gotta be true. Well, the mayor said it got to be true. The governor said it got to be true. They said it on the news, it got to be true. Nah, we don't get caught up in history. We don't dive into history of a thing deep enough to understand, well, what is the history of a politician? How do they typically move? What is the history of the medical field as it pertains to this and as it pertains to that? How do they typically move? You know how they typically move? They typically lie. They typically deceive. And they put us in positions where they manipulate us based on the dependency of our over trust. People sit in rooms and, oh, man, just tell them that we are, blah, blah, blah. You can tell them anything, they'll believe it. And they be right. So this drug is good for you. This is going to help your high blood pressure. This is going to help your diabetes. This is going to help your this. This is going to help you with that. And why'd you take that? Well, it was on TV. They said that this is going to help. Yeah, but did you listen to the part where they said about all those side effects? So I'm going to adopt 10 more conditions because I'm trying to cure one, and it don't even cure the one. Trust. Over trusting too easy, trusting the wrong things. We do it in education. And I ain't gonna be long, y'all. Hit the like button for your big brother, man. I'll give y'all shout outs and all that in a minute, but I had to talk about this because when I saw that article, I was like, man, if a person does not intentionally seek to take their own life, if a person does not seek to take their own life, then what happens is usually they are trusting somebody that they shouldn't have trusted. Eat this, drink this, smoke this, sniff this, try this. Man, this gonna get you high, boy. This gonna get you right. Nah, it's gonna get you out of here. That's what it's gonna get you. A lot of people lost their life behind trust. Like, give you an example. People will jump in cars with people they don't know. Like younger children do it a lot, but older people do it too. It ain't just young people that do that. Or young little girls or older people do it too. Hey man, where you going? Which way you going? I'm just going down. Come on, man, I'll take you down there. You ain't know this cat. Baby girl, where you going, baby girl? You need a ride? You out here in the heat. It's hot out here. You need a ride? Yeah, I need a ride. Yeah. All right, well, I'll take you there. I'll take it. Come on, get in. And it's so hot outside, or it's so cold outside, or you're walking. You don't feel like walking. Don't feel like waiting on the bus. But you don't know this cat. You don't know him. And then you get in the car and nobody ever see you again. Trusting. Can't trust everybody. You just can't. So it's better to stand in that heat and wait for that bus. It's better to walk in that heat, in that cold, in that rain. That's what you was doing anyway. Don't get in the car with somebody you don't know. See? You have to protect. You got to use wisdom to protect yourself. Common sense, basic wisdom. That's the things we taught when we little. Don't talk to strangers. Look both ways before you cross the street. Because you can't, because you don't know what's in the mind of somebody else, of other people. You don't know what's in their mind. Person might really just want to give you a ride. They might really be, oh man, I see that person, they in a bad way. I want to do something good and give them a ride. Their intentions may be really good, but to protect yourself, you still don't know that. So as a woman, you have to say, I'm good, thank you, I'm good. They keep asking, hey, I'm good. Because if they keep asking, they ride alongside of you, still trying, you know it's a problem. Because if somebody's offering to help and they say one time, hey, you need a ride? You go, no, thank you, I'm good. You sure? I'm good. Okay. That person gonna go on. They ain't gonna keep picking and going and going and going and going and going. That lets you know they too over the top with it. So you got to be careful. But even if you a dude, you got to be careful. Do people still hitchhike? Remember hitchhiking back in the day? People thumbing a ride. I don't care what it is. You meet people online, they'll set you up. Well, just come over here, come over to my place or meet me. We'll be at the such and such. I'll be at the such. Just meet me. And then you go meet them. Two dudes come around and set you up. Because you over trusting. Can't do that today. Can't ever do it. See? Impatience is what drives that a lot of times. Because we live in this instant gratification society. We want what we want when we want it. We want it right in that moment. And in order to get it in that moment, we will move in a way that's too fast. And we will get out of character. We'll move too fast just to try to get what we're trying to get. A lot of us are behind the 8 ball in terms of education, in terms of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because we trusted an educational system that only fed us lies our whole time and years and years of going to school. We didn't know no better. They deceived us. They deceived the generations before us and the generations before them. But luckily, many of us were able to break those cycles, because now we kind of study things on our own and learn the truths that were hidden from us on our own. But we thought the teacher was right because she was the teacher. We think that the doctor is right because he's the doctor. But the doctor ain't always right. The scientist ain't always right. The teacher, the professor is not always right. So the preacher ain't always right. So you gotta investigate everybody today. Even if the preacher says something, you gotta say, well, Reverend, where can I look up what you was talking about today? Where can I go deeper into that? And if y'all don't question me, then no, I can't do you. But if he's legit, he's honest, he's gonna say, oh yeah, you go to such and such, this, that, then you determine it for yourself. Where y'all at, man? Drop your locations, man. Where y'all at? City and state. I'm hitting y'all pretty early today because this was on my mind, man. It bothered me to see that. And then there was some other thing. That was another story. Yeah, drop your location for your big brother, man. I love to know where my folks is at. Toy Wood said YouTube blocked my notification. A lot of people tell me that they don't get notifications on my videos. A lot of people say that. Some people get them 2-3 days later and all that. See, I'm on here early, so I'm seeing people that I don't always see. So that's pretty cool. I thought I saw Tina P, the OG, up in here earlier. I don't know if she's still in here. UK, H-Town, I see you. Buffalo, Morristown, Tennessee, Hartford, Connecticut, Lynn, Massachusetts, Hoboken, New Jersey, yeah, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana. Blessings to everybody in Louisiana that got affected by the storm, man. UK again, Kansas City, Traverse City, Michigan, France, Birmingham, Liverpool, Katy, man. Serving David, man. Thank you for your donation, man. Let me go back and shout out. I saw another one. I was running my mouth. Daddy Fat Entertainment. Appreciate the donation, my brother. Appreciate the love. I've listened to your music over 12 years now. Keep it up, K. God bless. God bless you too, man. Thank you for that love, man. Abraham Lincoln was a good old man. He jumped out the window with his... Haki Shabazz says the ones in power are arrogant. They let the info get out 10 years. Louisville, Kentucky, Virginia Beach, Belgrade, Florida. What's up, Jovan? I see you. Houston, Texas. Netherlands. And Amsterdam, I see you. Birmingham representing strong. Toledo. We all up in this thing, man. We all over the world. We worldwide. We talking about trusting too fast, man. Too fast because of something that we think we want. Something that we think we want. Islamic concepts. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that love, man. That donation. Nothing but love. We need more Islamic concepts in the world. The world will be a better place. Learn how to treat your trust like you treat your anything of value to you. You know how when you come out, you got that nice, pretty car and you look at it and make sure ain't nobody scratched it when they open their door at the parking lot, or you checking your tires, or you got some new tennis shoes, you making sure ain't no smudge on the white part, and if it is, you hurry up and you wiping it down and you protecting that. You are overprotective of that. That's how we have to be with our trust, man. We can't give that to everybody, man, because people ain't worthy of it. And Jovan said it's hard to trust females, but it's both ways, bro. It's hard to trust people, period. We can't put it on one gender or the other gender because a lot of things that have happened to a lot of our women, some dude did that to them. So what we have to do is anything that we see, any defects or flaws that we see in people, we have to try to get to the root of it. We can't just look at what we actually seeing in that moment. We got to ask the question, how did it get like that for them? See, we got to have enough love for each other to ask that. Like, okay, I see that you kind of, he or she, they kind of own one. Like, oh man, something ain't right with this brother. But it didn't start off like that. Something happened. So we got to have the enough compassion to peep that out first. See, we turn into what happened to us a lot of times. Sometimes people can go the opposite of what happened to them. Like if you was abused, you might say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go the other way. But a lot of people who suffered abuse, they end up being abusive because it's just the cycle. It's what they know. So this might be a little off topic because this is not a thing about trust. But when I was thinking about the young sister, the Instagram model who got murdered by that fool, that devil that tracked her down and murdered her, man. It's some sick-minded individuals in this world, man. Some miserable, sick. You are not worth the bottom of my shoe. You're not worth the bottom of a shoe that just stepped in the nastiest sewage that you can find on the planet. If you have to stalk and track somebody down who don't want you, don't even know you, but even if they know you don't want you, you are a miserable, worthless piece of trash if that's how you live your life. Then the coward killed himself after killing her. You're not worth. But we got to be careful. You know, I'm never gonna be the one to try to judge our sisters who they make their living on Instagram, and we shouldn't be judging or condemning of them either if we not offering them a different way to get it. We shouldn't be judging or condemning of them. We just have to instill the mindset to be careful, to be careful. And that was not an issue of trust. That was just an issue of a maniac, man, of a sick maniac with no self-esteem, who had nothing going for his own life, who no self-respecting woman would ever choose in ever in life. So his only way to get close to a woman like that is to stalk her down and then do what he did. See, those are the moments where you just, you know, when I read stuff like that, those are the moments where I look and I wish that just somebody would have showed up at the right time, man, and gave that dude the worst experience that he could ever experience, and then kill him. Solomon Malone, man, I appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the donation, Solomon. King Solomon. The wisest man who ever lived. King Solomon. Ray P. Thank you, Ray. I'm trying, man. With God's blessing, we'll keep it up. We'll keep going. We're talking about trust. There's Tina P, the OG. Tina P, we're going to have to start giving you the OG salute up in this thing. We talk about trust, man. A lot of people have falling victim to other people because of trusting the wrong people. And this is one of the main problems, other than the fact that when you trust the wrong people or you trust too easily, it can set you back. It can cause you to have a loss or take a loss. One of the biggest travesties of giving people who are not worthy of your trust, giving it to them, is that trust is the type of thing that once it's betrayed and destroyed, in most cases, it can't be fixed. It's hard to repair broken trust. Can I get a witness? When somebody, because it don't even have to be what I've talked about so far, just with strangers and doctors and with drug addicts and drug dealers and food, and it don't have to be that. The part we haven't touched on is people that's close to you, because that's the one that hurt the most. Some stranger mess over you. Yeah, you feel it because of what they messed you out of, but there's no emotional connection to the stranger. But when the person that you really, really care about, and we've all been on both sides of that, have done it and had it done to us. No angels in here. That's the one that's the toughest one to fix, because you have put so much into a person. You put so much into a person over time, and when that person betrays that trust, it's hard to come back from that. It's hard to come back from that as it relates to that person, but it's also hard for the person to come back from that with new people, because now I don't trust nobody no more. They don't trust anybody. Anybody. Because the mindset is, if this person would do it to me, anybody would. Mama did it. My mama betrayed my trust. My daddy betrayed my trust. My brother, my best friend that I came up with, if those people get you, my husband, we've been together 30 years. My wife, we've been together 18 years. Those are the people that make you say, if they not trustworthy, nobody is. So it's hard to rebuild that trust, because now the person is damaged. Damaged. And those are hard to protect against, because you got so much time with them people. You can protect against a stranger. Man, I don't know you. I ain't no reason to trust you. Those are the hardest ones to protect against. And when you betray that trust, you feel, if you have any type of moral character about yourself, at the least, you feel terrible about it. You feel terrible about it if you've done that. I can speak from experience. I can speak from both ends of it. You feel horrible, because one of the worst things to do is to break something that you can't fix. You ever had something that was really valuable to you and you break it, a material thing, and you break it and you can't figure it out? Oh man, it's done, it's gone. You be sick. Can't fix it. Can't get it back. That's a very, very delicate thing that we have to work on. We have to work on that. See? Tina Peter OG say, I just isolate and leave people alone. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people at that point, because now, like I say, you're in the room, it's like you're in a room like, I don't know who to trust now. This was my dog. And he betrayed me. I don't want to use the word dog. I'm trying to work on that. Trey Thomas says, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. You can believe what you see and hear. But what has to follow that belief is research. It can sound good. See, you're going to hear stuff that sound good. You're going to hear stuff that makes sense on the surface. Well, yeah, that makes sense to me. But let me go check it out. So you can believe it, but I got to go check it out. See? It's hard to trust because when I start trusting, then it bites me. See that? And see, the thing is, once that's happened to you, Toy, and everybody in here, it makes us paranoid. We're paranoid now. Every phase of life. So now, moving forward, God drops somebody in your life that really is worthy. And you might mess it up or miss out on it because I thought that other one was too. Or if you've been in a pattern. But another side to that real quick, that if you've been in a pattern, now we have to start looking internally because we have to start being more careful in our selection process. One thing we got to understand, we got to be real with ourselves too, y'all. A lot of times when we overtrust and overtrust and overtrust, let me give y'all some medicine real quick. It's not 100% the person's fault who deceived you. It's not the untrustworthy person's fault 100%. It's partly our fault for moving too fast on that. You feel me? We got to take our responsibility in that too, especially if it's a pattern. So people will say, man, I just keep choosing these bad men. Or they'll say, no, all these men that I've been with, they just ain't no good. You have to check your selection process. Man, every time I get one of these women, man, they get me every time, man. You have to start checking your selection process. You have fault in that too. Man, every time I eat at this restaurant, I get sick. Why do you keep going back? Every time I hang out with this dude here and I go somewhere with him, we end up fighting. Quit hanging with him. We have fault too. Some things are bang, bang. 1 + 1. Everything is not rocket science. Aaron Shannon in the building. The relationship between trust and respect. Can we respect someone but not trust them? Yeah, you can respect somebody and not trust them because you can respect aspects of what they do. You can respect because there are certain things and certain principles or certain ways about them that are not always shady. So I can look at a businessman, businesswoman, and you might say, man, they stepped on a lot of people to get to where they are. And there was a lot of people that trusted them that end up getting slid by them. But there are other aspects of their business mind that was legit and straight up. So, on a whole, I respect him because he's successful. That's like when you say You can like you can love somebody but not like them. I said that in the song. You got family members that you love. I mean, this my cousin. I love my cousin. This my brother, my blood sister. We got same mama, same daddy, but you might not even like them because you just been around them and they got ways that just, I can't be around my cousin too long because we gonna have problems. But you love them. Something ever happened, you would feel that. So yeah, you can respect somebody but not trust them. There's a lot of people that I can respect, but I would never do business with them. They're like, nah, can't do it. Questing NTT said, long handle spoon. Perfect. Long handle spoon. There are people that you deal with. You have to deal with them on certain levels. You don't deal with everybody the same way. That's foolish. So whereas this particular person that I know, yeah, we like this. Yeah, this my boy right here. Yeah, come on by the house, man. Yeah, we gonna be blah, blah, blah. Yeah, come on by the crib. But you may know this other guy too, and he cool, but you don't know him like that. You're not gonna invite him to your house. Or you may know certain ways that this person moves that you don't move that way. So in your mind, you like, he cool, but we just talking, we chilling, we at the park just talking, but I know what he do. So no, I can't long handle spoon. Because people would jam you up. People don't have a problem jamming you up. They ain't got a problem jamming you up. Hey man, come ride with me. Hey Jovan, come ride with me. Alex, come ride with me. You just jump in. Yeah, what's up, man? We ride, boy. It's a nice car. Yeah. Beep. Stolen car. You in jail. See? Can't rock with everybody. Islamic concept. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that, man. You say you donated 1K for a solitary video. I hope it reached you. If you did, I'm sure it did, my brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate if it's $1 or if it's whatever. Cause I don't jump on these lives for the money. I really don't. I jump on them to give the information that I feel God bless me with and some on my heart to talk about and to interact with y'all. Because we teach each other on here. Y'all be saying stuff again. I say it all the time. Y'all say stuff that I'll be like, woo-hoo. That boy on there teaching. That sister on there teaching. Matrix Rogue, I see you. Matrix Rogue, I'm for real ranting. What's trusting too early? You got to listen. You got to listen. If you're just getting in, you got to listen. I see you, Sister Donna. You got to listen. Trusting too early, that's just what it is. Trust is something that you have to guard. You got to guard your trust. You come into a situation, you got your trust with you. But you just don't walk in the door and say, here's my trust. So no matter how good something sounds, take the time to just make sure that it's good as it sounds. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Jan Perret, Oscar, you may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you don't trust enough. Let's talk about that. Much love, Sister Donna, for your donation. I appreciate that. respect and power. Let's talk about that, because that's a really good point that Oscar just made. Am I saying don't trust at all? No. See, the difficult part is, y'all hit the like button if you haven't already. The most difficult part when it comes to trust is achieving a balance. It's achieving a balance, because you can't let yourself, no matter how much you've been through, no matter how much damage you suffered, you still can't allow yourself to lose your natural essence. You can't become bitter. You can't become dry. You still have to achieve a balance of distrust or protection of trust, mixed with distrust, knowing how to recognize who you should not trust, and actually still having an open heart to know who to give that trust to. So that's a great point. Don't turn into just a bitter shell. And no, everybody's not worthy of your trust. OG Tina P, no, that's right. But the key is, it's about the process of figuring who is and who ain't. Trust is righteous, but it can be defiled. Apocalyptic minister just dropped that bomb on us. Yeah. It can be defiled, it can be violated, it can be misused, it can be manipulated, it can be played upon. Trust not ignorance. Come on, Donna. Come on, Alex. Know and understand what you're looking at, and you'll know whether or not to trust it. Man, y'all. Tina say my heart is a clamshell. But that comes from way back for a lot of us. There are things that we went through that happened to us way back, that every time something like that takes place, this is your heart. And every occasion, every deception, it makes it harder and harder and harder and harder than that. Then you reach a point where your heart is like a brick. Because a lot of us love too hard, too quick. So it's just like the trust. We love too hard. Mr. 8055 Magic, they are good people. Just don't throw diamonds in the trash can. Come on, man. Quote that K-Rino. You have to know where to deposit your jewels. If you want to put your money in the bank and you ride down the street, man, which one of these banks can I put my money in? And you pass by one of the banks, and one of the banks has all glass windows. And then you can look into that window and actually see the money. The money is just out in the open. Are you going to put your money in that bank? It's like, man, somebody break this glass, bing, bing, go. You have to discern. You don't want to become hateful, like Matrix said. You don't want to let life and people make you so hard, because a lot of times the things that the pain that you went through, it wasn't of your doing. So don't make the mistake of letting what other people did because of their ways. Don't let that make you negative and bitter. Chalk that up to the individual. That's them. That's how they are. They're not going to make me like that. Chalk that up to the individual. But we can't make the mistake of, okay, if that individual was like that, then the next individual I meet, I'm already putting that weight on them because of what that one did. Can't do that. Give that person a chance to mess up or prove themselves worthy. They might mess up too. Okay, then slide them to the side of it. That's them. But also, again, factor in your selection process, factor in your criteria, the criteria by which you pick people, because you might be choosing stuff for the wrong reasons. Might be going after people because of, man, he got a nice car. Man, she got money. I'm going to go after her. Get your selection process up. Told y'all I wasn't going to hold y'all long, man. Let me shout y'all out real quick. I see you, Veli Vale. Veli Vale. In order to trust others, you have to trust yourself. That's another key point before I go. What kind of trust do we have for our own self? Some of us don't trust ourselves. You got to trust yourself, but trusting yourself comes through a process too. It comes through a process of qualifying yourself to make good decisions. Then other people will see that in you. You ever had a parent tell you, well, son, daughter, do what you want to do. I trust that you'll make the right decision, because they see something in you that you might not see in yourself. Roman, Sue Nichols, C4. Private account. You don't need to trust if you're taking life at face value. Trust can often be overstated and gravitating the negative to your life. Back porch studio, I see you. Trust no man until you have tried him. That's right. That's why processes take place in old tradition. Like if two people are interested in each other in a relationship, they go through what's called a courting process. They be like they say, they courting. You court to get to know a person. Somebody you want to try to get a job. The job ain't just, you can't just walk into a company and say, yeah, I want to get a job. And say, okay, come on, you start tomorrow. You're going to fill out an application. They're going to verify the things you have on your application. If that checks out, they're going to bring you in for an interview. They want to get a feel for you. They might say, we're going to call you back for a second interview. They got to get a feel for you. Then they say, all right, man, you got the job. And you still go in there and steal out the cash register. No, I'm just playing. Already, man. I appreciate y'all. I said I was going to hold y'all long, and I meant it, man. But y'all taking the things that I've said and that y'all have said to each other. Let's try to make each other better, man. One love. Peace.